Welcome. I'm Dr. Samuel Acuff. I'm a research scientist at the Recovery Research Institute in the Department of Psychiatry at Massachusetts General Hospital. With me today is Dr. Emily Hennessy, Associate Director of Biostatistics at the Recovery Research Institute and the National Center on Youth Prevention, Treatment, and Recovery, and an assistant professor at Harvard Medical School. Welcome.
Hi, Dr. Acuff. Nice to be here.
Yeah, nice to talk to you. So what is the Joint Meeting on Youth Prevention, Treatment, and Recovery?
The joint meeting is a fantastic opportunity for stakeholders to come together and really talk about and get the latest trends in the field on how to address the public health problem of youth substance use. Thinking about it from both preventing substance use as well as how do we engage young people in treatment that are identified as needing treatment, and then also how do we support them in their recovery process.
What kind of topics might one expect to see if they were to attend the meeting?
There are a variety of topics. So if we think about what goes into substance use prevention, there are folks from schools and clinical practices there to talk about the latest research on interventions and kind of early interventions in the field. We think about the treatment landscape. There are lots of opportunities for individuals to come together and learn about the latest treatments, and also to talk about some new upcoming treatments that may be of interest to different key stakeholders across the U.S. As well as internationally. And then if we think about what kind of happens in the recovery process, that's an opportunity for everyone in the field to learn about what's going on in communities. Once a young person is identified as needing treatment and kind of goes through that process, or maybe doesn't end up getting treatment, but is in a community seeking recovery, what are those community-based supports? And what's the evidence for all of these, both prevention, treatment, and recovery interventions? In addition to thinking about kind of the prevention intervention programming landscape, there's also research presented on the latest trends in the field around specific types of issues related to substance use, so prevalence of different kinds of substances used and the consequences of using them as well, and also research around ways to predict how to best identify a young person in need of treatment and recovery support services.
Very comprehensive programming. And you mentioned throughout that a couple of different types of stakeholders one might expect to see at the conference, but I'm wondering who else? What type of people might attend this conference?
Sure, yeah. So we definitely have, obviously, researchers and practitioners and clinicians, as well as our national funders and federal agencies that are really invested in seeking to support young people through this process. Social workers, public health individuals, clinicians, families, and young people who are themselves seeking or have been through a recovery process. And the idea is really not to address just one key stakeholder group, but to get everybody in the same room, talking, collaborating, coming up with new ideas together, and really addressing this problem in the communities where it's happening, and kind of bringing this information back to communities so that we can all kind of partner together and address the national public health imperative of substance use prevention, treatment, and recovery for our young people. Because if we don't address it when they're young, the research has demonstrated there's a much higher likelihood that it will be very difficult to get them into treatment and recovery as they age out.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting all the stakeholders in one room to have a conversation about this over a couple of days, it's a wonderful idea. And when does the joint meeting on youth prevention, treatment, and recovery take place?
So it's typically held in March every year, and next year in 2025, it will be held March 18th to 20th.
Excellent. And if someone was interested in learning more, where could they find some information?
They could visit the website that we have set up for the National Center, youthrecoveryanswers.org, and that's where they could find out information about the National Center kind of as a whole and all the initiatives that we're doing, as well as information about the conference. And someone could also sign up to be on the listserv for the conference specifically and get updates as we have a call for abstracts and begin to release the schedule for next year's events.
Excellent. Thanks, Dr. Hennessy.
Thank you, Dr. Acuff.